Before I got married, I had one aim, one goal. And my goal was that I am going to do my best as a wife. I am going to marry this man in such a way that when he's having a conversation with his friends, he'll be able to tell them that my wife is wonderful. My wife is a good woman. I married a good woman. I told myself that I was going to marry this man in such a way that he will never regret marrying me. Yes, I am a human being and I make mistakes, but as much as possible, what I can do in my possible best, I said I was going to do it. Today, I'm going to share with you some strategies that makes you the woman of wisdom. Some things that you are supposed to do as a wife, some things that you are not supposed to do. Stick with me through this video because you do not want to miss even one point. If you see me for the first time, my name is Nyami, and on this channel we learn about love, life, relationship, and marriage. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that because you don't want to miss. Just be part of this community, okay? So let's get right into it. First thing that I want to talk about is that if you want to be a woman of wisdom, if you want to be a wife full of wisdom, please, under no circumstance should you ever raise your voice at your husband. It is a sign of disrespect. Whatever it is, make sure that your voice doesn't go beyond his voice. Do not raise your voice at him. Auntie, I was angry. I didn't know what to do. I just realized that I did it. As much as possible, try to control yourself. I was telling a group of people the last time that I had this reverend minister in my church. This man was strict. This man was disciplined. This man was like, he was some way. And then he wants to make sure that you do this. And if you do not do that, there is no way that man was going to give you the benefits of the doubt. So one day we went to church and this man said that we should change the curtains of the hall in the church. And we said, oh, that you let's finish the service. When you finish, you change it. This man went to his office, locked himself in the room. And then he said, if you don't change it, we are not going to do the service. And that's how, my dear, no matter how angry you are, you can't shout at this man. You cannot. So I always say that the kind of respect that we give to our reverend ministers, the kind of respect that we give to our bosses at work, if we can't shout at our reverend ministers, if we can't shout at our bosses, no matter what, don't shout, don't raise your voice at your husband. Do not forget that that man has been compared to Jesus because we are supposed to submit as the church submitted to Christ. If Jesus is to come to your home today, are you going to shout at him? I know that you say that, Auntie, but Jesus is not going to do the things that my husband did. I know, I understand. But as much as possible, please do not raise your voice at your husband, no matter what. The next thing I want to talk about is that do not expose your husband's weakness to family and friends. My dear, everybody has a weakness. Everybody has a weakness. You think that your husband is the only one who has that weakness. In the Bible, they said this king was amazing. He was rich. He had everything, but he was sick. There is a but in every home. There is a but in every husband. Even you have a weakness. As much as possible, if you want to be a woman of wisdom, if you want to use wisdom to sustain your marriage, please do not expose your husband's weakness to your family, to your friends. As much as possible, protect that man's pride. He is your husband. And if you want to tell everybody how bad he is, if you want to tell everybody how much he's not giving you at home, if you want to tell everybody how much he's not helping you, the disgrace, it is coming to you, but some is also coming to you. So as much as possible, please do not expose your husband's weakness to anybody. Please never use attitudes or moods to communicate to your husband. And what pains me is that I was angry. I was moody, and I was expecting him to ask me what is wrong with me, and he never did. He pretended as if I was listening to this woman of God, and she said when she got married, during the initial stage of the marriage, the husband did something and she got moody. And then she wasn't talking to the husband. She was being moody. She was expecting the husband to come and ask her, what is wrong with you? Why are you moody? What did I do? This man was busy going about his own things. So 3 days later, she came back and she was like, so can't you see I've been moody? The man said, oh, you have. I thought you wanted to pray or fast. That is why. Our husbands are not mind readers. There is no way they can read our minds. If something is bothering you, the best thing is for you to communicate to him. Please do not use attitudes. Do not use moods. trying to communicate with him, trying to let him, he should be able to figure it out. Why is it that he didn't figure it out, my dear? That will not solve the problem. If you get a man who doesn't really care, you pretend as if he hasn't seen, he'll be going about his own things, and you, the thing will be eating you up. So, as much as possible, please do not use attitudes of mood to communicate to your husband. The next thing I have here is that never in your life compare your husband to other men. Some of us go to the extent of comparing our husbands to our exes, to our friends' husbands. Why didn't you do this? Why haven't you done that? Haven't you seen this man? My ex didn't do that. This person didn't do that. My dear, if by any way, by any chance, you make a man's ego feel attacked, it diminishes the love that the man has for you. So if you want to attract that man's attention, if you want that man to see you as the best wife you are, if you want to be a woman of wisdom, do not ever compare your husband, never in your life, to another person. Never ill treat your husband's friends because you don't like them. Eh, Auntie, it's his friends, so they are the ones making him do this, they are the ones making him do that. And so when the friends come to the house, instead of you to welcome them, instead of you to give them that treatment as your husband's friend, you start frowning, you start giving them attitude, you start shouting at them, disrespecting them, my dear. The best person to get rid of those friends is not you, but your husband. And so if you have anything to say to your husband. Never ever ill-treat, disrespect, maltreat, frown, give your husband's friends attitude. Worst case scenario, they are the board members. They are the ones that are going to defend you. Even if your husband is doing something that is he's not supposed to do. You see, those friends, they are going to tell them, gentlemen, this is your wife. We are not going to allow you to treat her that way. So please, no matter how bad you think they are, no matter how much you don't like them, never ever ill-treat your husband's friends. The next point I have here is that never forget that your husband married you and not your maid. At this point in our lives, there is no way you can go on with your duties as a career woman, as a businesswoman, as a wife, as a without the help of a help. You can't. You are going to break down. So sometimes we try to bring in help to help us. As much as possible, know what and what you have to let the help do. I think that when in my next video or in the near future, I'm going to do a video about duties that you have to let a help do for you and duties that you have to do as a wife. But what I'm saying is that there are things that the help has a limit. Don't leave everything to her in the sense of serving your husband's food, in the sense of laying your bed, in the sense of washing your husband's underwears. No, that man married you. So as much as possible, as the career woman, the business woman, the rich woman you are, don't forget some basic duties, some basic responsibilities you have to do as a wife. Please serve your husband's meal. Make sure you wash his underwears. Make sure you clean your bedroom. That man married you. Okay? He didn't marry that maid. He didn't marry that help. That's your kid sister, whoever is staying with you. So please do not leave everything as much as your husband, your duty as a wife to her. And then never assign anyone to give attention to your husband. Your husband is your own responsibility. I was reading through the Bible and then I came across this story of Mary and Martha when Jesus visited them. This is a story I've read times without number, but something clicked me. When Martha was in the kitchen and Mary was sitting with Jesus, Martha came to Jesus and was like, Jesus, why? Why are you not allowing her to come and help me in the kitchen? Why is she sitting here with you? Jesus said, you worry yourself too much. She has taken what is right. She has taken what is good. There are times saying we have to forget about the house chores and give our husbands attention. Who told you that men don't want attention? Who told you that it is only females who want attention? That is a lie. That man also needs attention. So sometimes when he comes back from work, please leave the kitchen small, okay? Welcome him, give him water. As I said, serve his meal, spend some quality time with him. If you can, Sit with him as he eats. Ask him how his day went. Do not assign anyone to give your husband attention. Sometimes your husband even wants you to go to a funeral with him, and then you tell your friend, my dear, please, my husband wants me to do this. I cannot. Can you please do that? Sometimes you are traveling and you tell your friend to come and cook for your husband. How can you do that? That is a mistake you are not supposed to do. So, as much as possible, please never assign anyone to give your husband attention. Your husband, as I said, is your own responsibility. Never blame your husband if he comes home empty handed. That man goes through a lot. The last time my husband told me that, Ikea, if I have to do a video of the work I do at my workplace and come and show you, you are going to pity me. Is that the kind of work we do? Men go through a lot to bring money to the table. That is why, as a woman, you should also have your own money. That is why, as a woman, you should also have your own job. So that when things are not good for him, you can come in. Don't forget that you are his help meet. So if by any situation, any circumstance, that man is not able to come home with money, that man loses his job, that is the time you have to treat him extra, 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 extra special. Treat him extra, extra, extra as a king. Never blame that man when he comes home empty-handed. And I think he's dating. Some of you go to the extent of saying, if he's cheating and he has money for that girl, then me too, whatever. You know that some of the side chicks are even giving the men money? You don't know. I am telling you, some of the side chicks are even giving men money. Some of them, it's not about the money they are getting from the men. Some of them are even paying for the relationship. So please, as much as possible, never blame your man when he comes home empty-handed. The next point I have here is never be a wasteful wife. Your husband's stress is too precious to be wasted. We waste food, we waste water, we waste electricity, we waste, my dear. During premarital counseling, one thing that I tell wives to get right from the start of the relationship is there a fridge or a freezer. Even if you don't have money, try to buy a small fridge. Okay, when you eat, and then even stew, soup, no matter how small it is, you can just tie it in a plastic a rubber and put it in the fridge. One afternoon, one evening, when you don't feel like cooking, when you don't know what to eat, you can just cook rice and eat with it. Do not be wasting food. I feel very bad when we have to throw food away unless you have a pet in your house that you have to feed. Even that, don't be wasting food. Please, that man's money is too precious to be wasted. And then never answer for your husband in public opinion. You went somewhere with your husband, someone asked your husband a question, and then you start answering for him. Even if he's a stammer, he's your stammer. You knew he was a stammer before you married him. Unless that man tells you, oh, let my wife answer it. Oh, babes, can you answer him for me? Can you answer her for me? Then you can come in. In public opinion, these were some of the things that the women in Corinth were doing. That is why Paul wrote to them that even in the church, when you want to ask a question, ask it through your husband. It makes your husband look some way in public. So no matter what, do not answer for your husband in public opinion. Never shout or challenge your husband in front of your children. Whatever it is, when the kids are there, whatever it is, never. Even if he does that, try to respond with politeness. Try to, if possible, be silent. Then later, when you are with him in the room, you go like, babes, honey, sweetheart, yesterday when you spoke to me in the front of the, do not, no matter what, fight, argue, shout with your husband in front of the kids. This is a no-no. And then please do not forget that as a wife, you have to check your husband's smartness every time he leaves the house. That man is your husband. If he looks good, he looks good for you. Check that his shirt is ironed. Some men are living a kind of I don't care life. So to them, anything goes. Checks that he's smart, he's nice, you see, so that when he's going, everybody see that, oh, that is this woman's going. The Bible says that her husband, the virtuous woman, her husband sits with the elders in front of the gate. If he's not smart, if the husband is not giving her, if the wife is not giving her peace, if the wife is not a woman of wisdom, that man cannot sit with the elders. The elders will tell him that you cannot even put your house in order. How come you are coming to tell us to do this or to do that? So these are tips for you as a woman of wisdom. I really hope that this video has helped you. Please do not forget to share this video to your family and friends, to your fellow women, so that they also learn from this. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done that. If there is any point that you want to add to what I have said, don't hesitate to put in the comment section for me. Thank you so much for watching this video to the end. I'll definitely see you in the next video. Namenka.